Do you miss football, Julian Edelman?
I do.
Miss it?
I miss it more this year than I did last year.
What do you miss?
I miss waking up in August, going to the field, smelling the fresh cut grass, seeing the sprinklers just finished, seeing our equipment guys setting all the stuff out, the locker room, the fellas, the competition, and now being in my second year out, I can actually miss it because last year it was still ingrained in my head. That last year was rough. Football is not fun when you feel like or crap. I've been doing so many podcasts. I apologize.
It's all good.
I'm sorry.
Don't worry about it. It's all good.
So,
Dad.
Yeah, there you go. You know what I mean?
Earmuffs around Lily.
Earmuffs.
I mean,
Everything.
good Lord, give his daughter earmuffs.
Sorry.
Nice.
But this is my first year. My body's felt kind of pretty good,
that's good.
And that's when you start to go back into that mindset of when the game was at its easiest for you, when you were in your best physical shape, and it cross-paired with your smarts of the game, and that's when you miss it, when you can go out and compete at a high level consistently.
So what was your moment where pregame where you knew you were ready to roll and that actually happened for you? You got one of those moments where you're warming up, you're feeling it, you feel good about it, you know that the game plan is set, Tommy's all ready to roll, you've got a couple plays in your back pocket that are going to torch. You got one of those moments for me?
Well, I would
Julian?
always feel my speed in pregame. On the first curl route, we kind of had the same routine. I would run a comeback and then a curl, and I could always tell how my feet were feeling. But now, since we're in the preseason mode, in the preseason mindset right now,
yeah.
And I know everyone thinks preseason is good for nothing. I understand that, but there's a lot of guys out there right now that are vying and fighting for a job. And it brings me back to the pregame of August 16, 2009 at Lincoln Financial Field, my first preseason game against the Eagles, and went out there. And I just remember Mikey Wright was looking at me. He was a veteran, and he looks at me. He goes, hey, Rook, settle down. It's a preseason game, because I was so intense. And I still kept that mindset throughout my career, just to keep it an intense, checklist, going over all my plays, going over everything, starting my routine then, and really getting it down so you feel the most prepared you can feel going into a game. So I remember that specific feeling going to that game, because it was my real first game in the National Football League. Scotty O'Brien, special teams guru, comes up to me before the game, says you're going to start on kickoff. Ended up opening the game with the tackle. First punt, took back to the house after they repunted. Had 5 catches with Tom Brady when it was his game back from his ACL. So there was a lot of things that went into that game that I remember, that pregame feeling, and to go out and have that game that you had. It was just, that's what I'm in the mindset right now. Because
that's a photo from the game right there.
That was it right there.
That's where you take
Sam
it to
Aiken
the house.
right behind me, my guy.
Damn. So did Belichick say anything to you after that game? Did he come up to you after the game and say anything to the Rook, who just balled out on special teams, which is is his sweet spot? Like
started
that's
in the league.
That's where you get Bill Belichick at hello.
1975, Baltimore Colts.
Yeah, that's how you get him when you're a rookie trying to shine out. So did he say anything to you after that?
I don't specifically remember him saying anything special. I think he may have gave me like a slap on the back as coming off the field. I mean, he was excited. You could see he was probably excited for me.
Yeah.
Because, he likes to see his young players that are fighting for a job. He likes to see them go out and perform. So I don't specifically remember, but I think he gave me a little slap on the back. And, there's that infamous Wally Pipp thing that he says to Ernie that's gone super all over the world, that he said to Welker. So then you saw that kind of stuff going on. But nothing specific to me.
Okay. Julian Edelman here on the Rich Eisen Show, the Games of Names podcast. We'll talk about that in a minute here on the program. So you said you're feeling good. I mean, what do you think? Good enough? Like if a call comes in from Tampa, Florida or New England, would you do it? Would you go in that direction, Julian?
I tell you right now, if I had 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, I mean, start of the season, absolutely not. But if there's a team vying for a playoff run, guy goes down, could I get ready? I mean, I probably could.
Would you want to do it?
I mean, that depends on the situation at that time. Right now I'm looking forward to Games with Names. We're about to launch this unbelievable podcast. I got Inside the NFL streaming on Paramount Plus, of course.
There you go. Yes, sir.
So I got that coming.
Nicely done.
So
there's an I in Julian. I understand that, but you're a team player as well.
No, but there's an E for Edelman.
Attaboy.
There's an E for Edelman. I used to say that.
No, and obviously those things you could do it at the same time, and they could be waiting for you too at the very end of the day.
Hey, you can never say never.
Okay.
So I'm excited for the opportunities I have coming on my plate right now, and if any of those situations ever come up, I mean, of course you got to take a look at them.